There. Right, very good. Okay, so crap. As you can see, this is the panel. Oops, sorry, wrong focus. So this is the panel that I have been working on. It's very easy to remove. You just need to see that. So this is the panel right here. It goes inside here or on top of this, and it's very easy. So you start by using a prying tool like this. I recommend starting from the bottom, and then you just flick it like that and it comes off. So be very careful because there are clips right here like that. You might damage them. So this is basically what it looks like. You also need to remove a couple of screws like this underneath here. I believe this is it right there. See that? Now before you get to the screws, you would also need to remove this panel which goes underneath here like that. So your first step is to remove this panel from the aircon by using a prying tool, and you use the same prying tool to remove this panel underneath. It's also very easy to remove. You just stick this underneath here, remove it, and then the frame of the head unit looks like this. Oop. Come on, there we go. So this is the frame right here, and there. Okay, so there's the focus. So it's also very easy to attach. This is a subframe that you have to buy separately because the outer frame that I bought is for a 10-inch Android. So the link is on the description. Just feel free to browse over it. Remember, this is a 10-inch frame, the outside one, and then the inner frame is a 10 to 7-inch converter. I do need to tell you guys that this is not it's not a complete fit. Lengthwise, the distance between one side to another is actually 177 or 176 millimeters, and the head unit itself, it's actually 178. So what I ended up doing was I took a sander, and I have a lot of power tools. This is the included bracket right here, as you can see. Let me just get a better angle for you. Here we go. So this is the included bracket. I provided my own screws. I mean, these screws right here, these two screws is included with the head unit itself, so you won't have any problem with that. But I had to take a sander, and it's so hard to work when you're alone. Okay. Yeah, okay. So I had to take a sander and sand the inner sides left and right so that this will fit. That is where you're gonna have trouble with, because not everybody has the necessary tools. What I had was a belt sander attachment to a grinder, so it was easy for me to fit this. But you might need a little help. Another thing that you need to pay attention to is that the size from the top to the bottom is actually bigger by 2 millimeters. So what I ended up doing was I cut a strip of electrical wire, and see that small bead at the bottom? That's electrical wire, guys. So I just jammed it in there, and it looks like an OEM installation, as you can see. So it was perfect. What else do I need to tell you? I'm planning on upgrading a little bit more with this, but that's going to be in a different video. But I also want to show you guys what the harness looks like. Come on. Ow. Okay, so you have to buy a separate harness, and this is what it looks like. The blue one. This is specifically for, see that? If you can see it in the camera, it says MG. This is the same type of harness as an MG-ZS. So if you find one that's an MG-ZS, get it, because that's the only that's the right harness. This is a 16-pin harness. It's blue and then black at the other end. You also need to buy a separate harness for the antenna because the antenna is different. This is a regular antenna jack right there, but look at the antenna jack of MG. See that? It's different as well. So you would need to buy something like this. This comes in this color, which is teal, I guess, or light green or something like that. I'm not sure. Colorblind right here, so I don't know. But it looks like this. It also comes in black. So be careful in Shopee or Lazada. Make sure that what you're buying is the same thing. I just want to show you what the back looks like. There we go. Having an aerial shot a little bit. Okay, these are the ports. You have your in, your out, and so on and so forth. It's quite understandable. We are not going to be using this port right here because according to the manual, this is for the brake switch, and we don't require a brake switch. That is the fuse for the head unit itself, so you don't have to worry. It's basically completely covered. Again, I'm going to show you what the harness looks like. This is the harness right here. It does say MG. It's 16 pin, and there are 4 extra wires, as you can see. Okay, let me take a good shot. All right, so one is for the back camera, one is a key 2 wire, the other one is a key 1 wire, and the other one is audio antenna. I'm not sure what this is for. I might not use it, but I'm going to be using this and the other key 2 features, and probably a ground somewhere. Probably going to use a body ground for what do you call this, the steering wheel control unit. And yeah, that's what I want to show you. Again, just to repeat, and I cannot emphasize this enough, the head unit itself is bigger lengthwise than the frame that you're going to buy, the subframe or the inner frame. So you have to sand both sides of it, right and left, so that it will fit lengthwise. And then you have to jam something underneath here because it is bigger by 2 millimeters. It's taller by 2 millimeters. Filming from the back seat right now, and as you can see, that yellow plug right there, that's the rear camera. And what I did was I went under here. Not sure if you can see it, but you see those that panel right there. So you need to run it up to in that panel right there. Oops, sorry. My gimbal is not working properly. Okay, so you would need to remove that panel right there. There are 2 screws underneath. Run it over here, and you see that pillar, this pillar right in the middle. You also need to remove that, and the wire runs through here to the roof. And I just couldn't fix my focus, and that's the wire right there. So I'm gonna jam it in and then run it through here as well. I might remove the door seal, and you also have to remove, yeah, speaking of door seals, you have to remove the door seal as well. It's very easy. You just pull it out and it should come out, and then it's gonna be easier for you to jam the wire in, blah 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 blah. And then the wire is gonna extend up until the back seat. I'm gonna remove this later on because it is going to get inserted over here, and it's gonna come out at the back. So this is the most difficult part of the build, which is the rear camera. I'm gonna see if I can point you to the right direction. So you have to run the wire all the way here and then insert it somewhere in this area. Okay, sorry, let me fix my angle. Right over here, right there. See that? So it runs from at the top here, right there, all the way here, and then you insert it right over here. Make sure that your compartment is open so that you can see a bit of light. Then you just jam it in here, and then you come over to your compartment area, and I'm going to use a flashlight so that you can see. There are a couple of clips that you have to remove. One is from there and the other one is here. As you can see, there's a red mark right there. And I'm going to try to do this. Okay, so you would need to remove this, and you should see the wire sticking out from there. So I'm going to use I think I'm going to use one a long piece of wire again so that I can get it. As you can, all right guys, success. I was able to pull the wire from that part. As you can see, the wire is right there. So I just jammed the wire in the passenger side, and then I used this alambre, or this long piece of galvanized wire with a bent end like that, and then just hooked the wire and pulled it, and there you go. So the wire is right here. Now the next step is to remove the cover of the trunk, and as you can see, I've completely removed it, also being held by several clips. And I do need to tell you this part here. So this is, hang on, is it this? Yeah. As you can see, there are stains. That is double-sided tape, so I am going to clean that up later on and then apply a new strip of double-sided tape. And I am just gonna tap the wire somewhere here. I'm still trying to locate which one, but let me show you something else. You see that plastic right there? Okay, I'm not sure if it's visible. Let me shine a flashlight to it. There you go. So that's the provision for the camera, and it's easy to remove. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drill a hole in the middle of it, because the camera that I'm using is different. It's not the square one, it's the one that looks like an OEM. So I'm gonna drill a hole in the middle of it, run the wire underneath here, right there, and then attach it to the wire that I have sticking out inside here. So I'll just figure out how I can attach the wire neatly. So remember when I said I was going to use a different camera when I was installing the dash cam, which is this? Yeah, I ended up not using this because it is defective. It was flickering, there was interruption, there was some sort of electrical distortion on the screen. So what I did was I ended up using the stock camera. As you can see, it's now mounted. And the way I mounted this is I screwed or bolted it to the provision, this plastic thing, this plastic square, and it's bolted up, and I ran the wire. I'm not sure if you guys can see it, but I ran the wire underneath so it doesn't stick out from the sides. I ended up with a big hole in the middle, and I used that to my advantage. I just cut a piece of rubber sheet and excuse me, poked a hole into it so that the wire, you can see the wire right there in the middle, the wire goes through that rubber sheet. So it's working fine. It's actually better than expected, and let me show you what I did in the wiring. So apparently the wire that I used, the wire that I used is not the one that's included with the X3. It's actually the wire that was included in the extra camera that I bought. So this thing right here, the one with the yellow jack, that is the wire that was included in the extra camera that I bought. So it has this extra red wire sticking out of it, and on the other end it has the same extra red wire. So what I ended up doing was, this became the power source of the camera, and then the ground, not sure if you can see it, let's see that bolt right there. So I ended up tapping the ground wire to this bolt here, and I connected the whole thing. Let me see, there you go, see, that's the power right there. So the red wire goes to the other red wire of the video cable, and then the black wire goes to the chassis, or this bolt right here that serves as a ground. And yeah, I ended up not tapping the wires of the reverse lamp, which is good news, and everything is neat. So I just ran the wire from here to here, replace the clip again so it's neat, and it does look like OEM. Tuck the wire in, some of the holes here, that's gonna fall later once I close the lid. And let me show you what it looks like from a distance. There you go. So it's working fine. So the only thing that's missing now is to replace or to put back the felt cover of the trunk area, or the trunk door, whatever you call that. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. Stay tuned for my next video, because the next time I make a video, I'm going to tap this hole here so I can make a second reverse lamp. As you know, MG is a European design. It doesn't have two lamps when you're doing a reverse. It only has one, which is this on the right side. I'm planning on adding another one here, but that's going to be one heck of a job because I need to drill some holes in this provision. So if you have other suggestions, please let me know. Put comments on the video, and I'm gonna be testing the camera real quick. Okay, so this is a video test of the reverse camera. I'm putting my car in reverse right now. Let's see what it looks like. Boom, there you go. So it looks good. The guidelines are visible. I do need to make some adjustments to the angle, or to calibrate it, because from my perspective, the lines are not consistent with the wall, or the lining of the wall at least. So I'm going to do that right after this. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the Eanon X3 Linux head unit. If you have any questions, please let me know. Post a comment on the video. If you have any feedback, let me know as well. Thanks for watching. Bye.